All right, so just a few minutes back, America's incumbent President Joe Biden addressed the nation after Donald Trump won the presidential election with a decisive mandate. The Biden, while thanking his party and staff, accepted the electoral defeat and has said that he will ensure a peaceful transition of power to the next administration.
Yesterday, I spoke with President-elect Trump to congratulate him on his victory, and I assured him that I would direct my entire administration to work with his team to ensure a peaceful and orderly transition. That's what the American people deserve.
Now, the American president also slammed the critics who are questioning the fairness of the electoral system and called on the Americans to tone down the political temperature going forward.
Love your neighbor only when you agree. Something I hope we can do, no matter who you voted for, is see each other not as adversaries, but as fellow Americans. Bring down the temperature. I also hope we can lay to rest the question about the integrity of the American electoral system. It is honest, it is fair, and it is transparent.
So Donald Trump will begin the process of choosing a cabinet and selecting some high-ranking administration officials in the coming weeks after his presidential electoral landslide victory. So who are the top contenders? The tech billionaire Elon Musk has been the most prominent face in the Trump presidential campaign. He has turned into a full-fledged Trump supporter and holds billions of dollars in federal contracts. He has reportedly sought a role in the second Trump administration. Mike Pompeo, former CIA director and the Secretary of State and a devoted ally of Trump, chose not to challenge his former boss for the Republican nomination. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., a presidential hopeful himself, has thrown his hat behind Donald Trump virtually in the last moment. The son of the assassinated Bobby Kennedy and the nephew of another assassinated President John F. Kennedy, he has a strong chance of making it to the Trump cabinet after backing the Republican. Richard Grenell is an ex-Fox News contributor who's amongst Trump's closest foreign policy advisors. He's also in the running for the Secretary of State or other top foreign policy and national security posts. John Paulson and Scott Bessent are under consideration for Treasury Secretary. Both have been key allies of Trump in the past and are very ardent supporters of his free trade and economic policies. Senator Mike Lee and John Ratcliffe are contending for the Attorney General's role, said to be one of the most crucial appointments for Trump. Now, Trump had previously expressed his intention to fire the current Attorney General Jack Smith, and that would effectively halt the Justice Department's ongoing criminal cases against him. All right, now for more on this, we are joined by WION's Siddhant Sibal, who's joining us live from Washington, D.C. He's, of course, been covering all the election updates as they've unfolded in the United States. Siddhant, now the crucial process of, putting together the key members of the next Trump administration begins. In terms of what you're picking up at your end, what are the names that are doing the rounds? And is there a possibility that any of the Indian origin members of the Republican camp could figure prominently in Trump's next cabinet?
Well, yes, Mohammed, it is for sure that Indian Americans will be there, given the role they have played, whether it is Vivek Ramaswamy, Nikki Haley, Kash Patel, or Bobby Jindal. Now, essentially, when it comes to all these four names, one of the most prominent names was Vivek Ramaswamy, who, of course, strongly backed Trump. When it comes to Nikki Haley, she was in the earlier Trump administration as well. And when it comes to the role of the Indian Americans, no doubt, while they are a small minority, they have been very politically active. And this year's election, among other things, one of the stories that emerged was the emergence of the Indian American as a voting bloc, as a force to reckon with. And we have seen in the current administration as well, lot of Indian Americans, including, of course, Kamala Harris herself. Kamala Devi Harris might have lost the election, but the fact that she is Indian ancestry is something that was much talked about and part of the political campaign as well. Several times Trump had lashed out on her, whether she's Indian or black, but that's political rhetoric. But all in all, it looks like with each passing year and with each passing election, the Indian Americans will be having a growing role in the American politics and American administration.
Absolutely, indeed, Sunansible. Thank you very much indeed for joining us and getting us all those details then.